In this video, I will provide you with a couple of ideas on how you can create a better connection for your stair stringers if you have a situation like this, and how you can make a repair if you have a situation like this and the stair stringers have cracked or separated from the 4x4, and it's usually not going to be uncommon. If you drive a nail in on each side like this, if you toenail into the stringer at about the same point on both sides, it's not going to be difficult to imagine this section of the stair stringer chipping off, especially if the grain of the wood is going in this direction. And for those of you who might not understand what I'm talking about, it would be something like this. And of course, if this is the only connection point for the stair stringer to the 4x4, then the stringer would settle down or move down a little bit and separate from the bottom of the 4x4. And of course, this could create a extremely dangerous stairway to walk up and down, because this section of the stairway would be moving, and as it moves, it could put pressure on this stair stringer. And if for whatever reason this one separated, then you would only have one stair stringer holding everything up. And if that one actually separated, then the entire stairway would collapse. So how do we fix something like this? You can do it simply by adding a couple of blocks like this to the floor framing and using a variety of different types of building hardware, screws or nails to add additional structural reinforcement. And I'm kind of just throwing out a couple of different ideas. You could always use some type of framing hardware like this bracket to where you might be able to install a lag screw or maybe even a carriage bolt in here, and then install some lag screws or carriage bolts or regular bolts with nuts and washers that would run all the way through and connect the stair stringer to the block. However, I just wouldn't recommend installing too many bolts into a 4x4 like this one, because that could structurally weaken that particular piece of lumber. And another idea would be to use a smaller piece of lumber and maybe another framing anchor. And if you could access the other side, you could always end nail into the block without using any framing hardware. Or you could use some nuts and bolts on this side, again with a larger block and a few more bolts. And in case you haven't noticed, I have 3 different boards here: a larger one, medium-sized one, and a smaller one. And since I'm not a structural engineer, I will let you choose which ones you're going to use and how many framing anchors or nails you're going to put into this thing. Next up, you can raise the stringer back to its original position, and that can usually be done by simply lifting it into place, having someone else help you, or by using some type of a brace. And if you couldn't lift it up that way, you could always use a jack with some type of a post sitting on top of the jack and underneath the stringer. And I will leave that up to you on which method you choose to raise the stringer back into its original position, so that you can fasten it to the block with either some nails, screws, or even by drilling a hole and installing a bolt with a nut and a washer on it. And keep in mind that this might not be strong enough. And if you're looking for something a little stronger, then you might need to install another floor joist. And in this case, we're installing a D.I.Y.er or 2 joist, and then we're going to be cutting the stringers so that they can attach to the double joist and provide us with a better structural connection. And that brings us to the end of the video, and hopefully you learned something. And if you did, hit the thumbs up button. Or if you enjoyed the video, hit the thumbs up button. Or if the video was running while you went to go get some popcorn or a soda and you missed everything in it, then feel free to hit the thumbs up button also.